YouTube, XDefiant comes out in just a few hours, and for anyone who hasn't played the closed beta, one of the first things you're going to have to do is change your settings in XDefiant. If you're anything like me, you'll begin playing and you'll see that the gameplay feels a little weird, your movement might feel a little clunky, there's some weird things happening with your crosshair, you're getting input lag, or your latency variation is like crazy and you're smooth 1 second and not good the next. Any of those things, they were happening to me last night, and I decided to come in and look at all of my settings and change everything completely, and it made my game super crisp, and it made gameplay much more enjoyable. So without further ado, we're gonna hop in and walk through every single one of my settings to show you guys exactly what I use and to give you some guidance as to how you're gonna want to set your settings up before you start playing XDefiant. But first, quickly under gameplay and UI, field of view is preference based. I'm playing on 110 right now. A lot of like Warzone pros, people like that, play on 120, but Call of Duty professionals and people who play like competitive 4v4, 5v5, 6v6, you want to stay a little bit lower than that because it's gonna give you an advantage as far as shooting goes, and having a field of view of 120 is important in big BR games, battle royale games, but in games like this, it's not that big of a deal. You want to be on consistent ADS field of view so you're not having any variation in what you do. Your ADS sensitivity transition on low zoom, you want that to be instant or you want it to be after ADS. I choose instant just because as soon as you press L2 or L1 or LT to zoom in, your sensitivity changes if you have on a low zoom multiplier, which we'll look at in a second. But all of these other stats, they're pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just going to walk through them. I have auto sprint on. I don't think it's cheating. Some people would say it is. I don't think it's cheating. It just preserves the life of your controller. Auto sprint threshold, play around with this to see what your threshold should be, and so that you can walk whenever you need to. And then slide behavior, you want that on tap. Auto reload if you run out of bullets, yes. Auto switch, I honestly haven't seen this play effect, but yes. You don't want to have auto grab ledge on. That can really screw you over, and I don't know what really this is, to be honest. Your HUD limits, you don't want it to be maxed out. You want it to be in just a little bit, so that you can not have to look to the edge of your screen to see all of your details. And then this is all just preference. I have my ping displayed, that's it. All of this is just preference. It's not going to change much of anything. I would suggest having damage numbers and enemy health bars on so that you can see, get an idea of how soon you're going to be killing someone. But that's it for gameplay and UI. Hopping into my controller settings, I play on tactical or brawler. I play on default stick layout. Aim assist is standard. You don't want to have that disabled. You want to have the strength all the way up. Aim response curve, you want to have this on reverse S curve. It's going to make your very small movements have a greater effect and your really big movements have greater effect. So it's going to make aiming a lot easier. The sensitivity I've settled on is 30/30.78 multiplier. I don't know why. On Call of Duty, I play 6.6.95, so it's like a 6.6 without zooming in, and like a 5.7 or something like that when I am zoomed in. This is like a 6.6 from COD on a scale. This goes to 30 to 100. COD is 6 to 20. So this is like the same as a 6.6 in theory, but for some reason when I put this on like 0.9 or 0.95, it's just too fast. So I found 30/30.78 is good for me, and I feel like a lot of people's sensitivities are going to drop lower in this game compared to other first-person shooters, which is okay. What you're going to want to do to balance that out is not drop this a ton. You don't want to have this super low so that you can't move around the map. You want to drop your sensitivity multiplier down so that when you're not aiming in, you're still able to move really fast. But when you are aiming in, you're going to have precision, the precision that you want to. So I'll play on 30/30.78. That is complete preference. And that's just what I run. I have my acceleration speed multiplier. So when you point your stick as far as it'll go, you're going to speed up past your sensitivity by 1.25%. I honestly haven't seen this play effect, so I'm actually going to turn it up some just to see if I can see it actually play effect in game. I haven't played around with this a lot. I had it on 1.25 and I genuinely haven't felt it at all. Dead zones, you want your dead zones to be as low as possible so that you're not getting any stick drift whatsoever. For me, my left stick was 5, no stick drift there. My right stick, for some reason, I don't know if it's my controller or if it's the game, but I've never had to have my dead zone this high on any other game for this controller, is 20. I started with it on 5, and usually my dead zone sits around 7 or 8 on my right stick, so that I don't drift up, and my stick always drifts up. But on this game, whenever I would like push my right stick into slide or something like that, it's almost like when I would stand up, or after I slid, or after I made any movement with my right stick, it was tending to like just not constantly go up, but it would tap up. Like it would shift up just a tad, and then it wouldn't keep doing it. Usually with stick drift, it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and it never stops. But this would just tap up. So it stopped tapping up when I got to about 20. So I would like to have it lower, but it is what it is. It's not going to affect your gameplay that much once you get used to it. It's just one of those things where the lower it is, the more micro adjustments you're going to be able to make much quicker and much easier. But 20 is what I have it on. Again, this is completely dependent upon your controller. So that's what my controller settings look like. Looking at my audio and voice chat, I have dialogue, SFX UI on 100. I turn music off. Mute audio and minimize, I have that off because I like to hear it even when I'm not on my game. Voice chat enabled, all this stuff. This is all preference. All of this is complete preference and based on what your microphone sounds like, what your earphones sound like, things like that. But going into video and graphics, and this is where you're going to get really into the nitty gritty of settings that are going to affect the way that your game plays. So windowed mode, you want to be on full screen. You don't want to be on anything else. This is going to give you the best performance. It's going to give all the priority of your system to XDefiant. If you're playing on console, this doesn't matter, but on PC, which is what most of these settings are going to be relevant for as PC players, this is what matters. So full screen windowed mode, 100%. Resolution, the highest that you're able to play. Refresh rate, whatever your monitor is. Monitor, that's self-explanatory. Enable reduced latency, I have yes. NVIDIA reflex low latency, I have on enabled plus boost, but that's because I have a 3080 I don't even remember what I have a 3080 something, the step above 3080. So I play with enabled plus boost. It is going to put your increase your GPU clock speeds and your load, so just be wary of that. Know your system. Like I said, I have a really nice 3080, so I play with enabled plus boost, which is going to make your system perform better. The brightness and contrast is preference. That's just what I play on. Enable DX12 render. I don't really know 100% what this does. It does boost your system performance if your computer PC can keep up with it, but I know there's also a reality that a lot of people, when they try to use this, it'll just make your game crash over and over. So put this on, and if it doesn't make your game crash, then definitely leave it on, but if it does make your game crash, then take it off. Graphics quality, this is where you're going to get into the default settings that the game is going to give you for graphics is going to be what it suggests your PC runs on for optimized graphics, for optimized quality, while still having some decent performance. So what you're gonna have to do, what almost everyone is gonna have to do, is come in here and change the video and graphics to make them lower so that your game will perform better as you're moving around and your FPS is gonna be changing a lot. So graphics quality, custom VSync, turn VSync off, turn VSync off, turn VSync off. It's so much better when it's off. I have a custom frame rate limit set to 200. That's the most you can put it at because I don't want my frame rate jumping all over the place, and 200 is a spot where my system should never have a problem running at least 200 FPS. Shadow quality low, spot shadows low, spot shadow resolution low. None of these things are going to matter for the quality of your game. You're not going to see the quality of game change from any of this. Contact shadows off. Resolution scale 100, sharpening, I turn that all the way up so it looks really nice and sharp. Particle detail, I have it on medium. You can run it on low if your system can't handle a ton of GPU, CPU usage, but I use medium. High has too high, so I just use medium. Volumetric fog, low. Reflection quality, low. Recoil reflection quality, I have it off. I don't care about seeing reflections. Vegetation quality, I have it on medium. Again, you can put it on low, but I put it on medium because I personally don't want all the bushes and stuff to just look really grainy or really fake. So I have it on medium, but you can definitely put it on low. It's completely up to you. Subsurface scattering, I honestly don't know what this is, so I turned it off. Based on the right side, it looks like when you get glares through bushes or through windows and things, so I just have it off. Ambient occlusion, I have it on low. Object detail, I just kind of messed around with this and threw it on like 35. I think the default was a little lower, but so I think I turned it up a little bit. Might as well just throw it on 40. And then extra streaming distance, again, I don't know the the perfect thing for this, but I just put mine on 5 about halfway through. I'm actually gonna put this on about halfway too. So halfway to the top, see how it looks, see how it affects my gameplay. Lens flare, I have that off. Water quality, I have that on low, I don't care about that. Chromatic, aberration, however you say it, have that off. I don't want colors and things to be shifting depending on the angle. I don't really care about that. Terrain quality, I have that set to low, again, because as you travel through the game, as things are trying to load instantly, the lower the quality is set to, the higher it's going to load and the smoother your gameplay is going to be. So these are all my video and graphic settings. Copy these, I would say, pretty religiously. There are a couple that you can probably move down if you want to, but most of them you don't want to have moved up, because it simply is not worth losing your system performance for the sake of having these very, very small details that are barely going to be noticeable. So that's gonna do it for me in this video. It was short and quick, which is exactly what I wanted it to be. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Comment if I have any settings wrong or if I said anything wrong. I'm not perfect, I'm not infallible, so if there's anything that I have wrong, let me know so that I can change it myself, because I want the best settings for myself. I want the best settings for you guys. And be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be dropping a ton of XDefiant content over the course of the beta, and then a ton leading up to release, and then after release we're going to go buck wild crazy with tons of XDefiant. I'm sick and tired of COD. I'm ready to get on an XDefiant grind. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more XDefiant. Let me know what type of videos you want to see. I have a lot in mind that I'm already thinking about doing, but if you have anything that you'd like to see from me, let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.